Hey y'all, good day. Possibly a Monday or Tuesday. Uh, I've got this going the week of October 21st, so we in the middle of spooky season. Okay, guys, go ahead and update your table of contents. There's a couple of things I want you to put. The topic or the era that we're going to talk about is Road to Revolution. All right, and what we're going to discuss today is the Fredonian Rebellion. All right, the Fredonian Rebellion. So go and put that in your table of contents. Road to Revolution is the era, and then we're going to have 3 days worth of notes on Road to Revolution. All right, let's get it going. So, quick little review. We've talked about natural Texas and its people. We've talked about the age of contact, Spanish colonization. This is where we're getting all the Spanish influence. But the one that I want to focus on for our review is Mexican national era. Mexico gained their independence in 1821 from Spain, and they start making efforts to increase the population in Texas, also known as colonize. So, the way that their government works was set up in the Mexican Constitution of 1824. A couple of things that that document had. Texas was combined with Coahuila, all right? That is upsetting Texans at this point. And then you also had the state colonization law of 1825. This is what allowed impresarios to bring Anglos or white Americans into Texas to settle this land. Remember, you also had Mexican Martin de Leon, who was bringing individuals from Mexico. He was the only Mexican impresario. All right. Based on this law here, slavery is legal inside of Texas. All right, let's get to our learning objective. You do not have to write this down, but I do want you to put this topic at the top of your notes today. Remember, you're going to be taking your notes on your next empty page in your composition notebook. We're going to be talking about the Fredonian Rebellion today. All right, if it's red and underlined, it goes in your questions, and then if it's just red, it goes in your notes. So our topic here, worries of Mexico. So we have a large increase of Anglo-Americans living in Texas. Remember, Anglo just means white. We just have a lot of white people moving to Texas from the southern United States. Those people from the southern U.S. are trying to bring their slaves with them because it's legal, all right? But in Mexico, it is not legal. It is only legal in Texas. So this starts causing tension because you have a lot of Mexicans that do not believe in slavery. Now, as the population starts increasing, Mexico's getting worried that all of these Anglos are coming to Texas, that they're going to be more loyal to the United States than being loyal to the Mexican government. And they worry that Texas is going to try and annex or join the United States. Annex means to join. That's going to be a really important vocabulary word for the rest of the semester. So these are the worries that Mexico has of Texas. All right. If you look at this map here, these are impresario contracts. So these were land grants given out that are specifically color coded. All right. So impresario gone wrong. So we talked about a few impresarios already. We're going to talk about a bad impresario. His name is Hayden Edwards. All right, this man right here. And he had a brother named Benjamin. And the Mexican government had given them a contract to fulfill. This was an impresario contract. So they had the right to the land. They had the right to bring people from the United States to fulfill this contract so that way they could get land themselves. And it was based here in Nacogdoches. They wanted to settle 800 families near Nacogdoches. Hayden gets his people. He's ready to move into Nacogdoches. He's ready to settle this land. He's ready to get paid. But there's a problem. When he arrives, the land's already full. It's got Mexican families. It's already got Anglos settled in it, and as well as Cherokees. And some of these families had already been living in the area over 100 years. So Hayden's like, what the heck, man? I've got a contract. What are we supposed to do? As you can imagine, it doesn't go well. So these brothers are fiery, okay? We're still the same topic, so you do not have to rewrite your question, all right? This is still the same topic. So these brothers are angry, harsh individuals. And when they show up in this area outside of Nacogdoches, they demand paperwork. They go up to all of these Mexican citizens and these Anglos and the Cherokees sitting there saying, hey, where is your paperwork for you to be here? We have paperwork from the Mexican government. Where is yours? And so they start kicking people off the land. They held an election for Nacogdoches, and they actually cheated the election. They made sure that they were the ones that won the election so that they were in control of the town. Stephen F. Austin gets word of this, and he tells them, hey, y'all need to chill. Your job is to create a colony, not be rulers. But as you can imagine, those brothers did not listen to them. They are more focused on their needs and what they want rather than fulfilling their contract. So, your question real quick. If you were a leader in Mexico, how would you handle the actions of these brothers? All right. What is the step that you would take? Would you give the land back to the people that were already there? Would you let the Edwards brothers fulfill their contract and let them have the land? Or would you start from scratch and figure something else out? What would you do if you were a leader in Mexico in this situation? All right. If you had to guess, the Mexican government actually decides to take this land away from the brothers. They say, hey, first come, first serve. The people that were already living there, let them have it. It will be their land. So the brothers react exactly as you could imagine. They start a rebellion, and they kick everyone out. They said, nope, this is our land. We are no longer ruled by Mexico. They take a group of Cherokees that are actually there to help them and call the land the Republic of Fredonia. And they actually used this building here as their old stone fort. This was their base. All right. You had a lot of impresarios in Texas. Stephen F. Austin, Erasmo Seguin, Mexican Martin. They're so upset about this. They're like, hey, man, this is our job, and you're about to ruin that for us. So Stephen F. Austin actually forms a militia and goes to stop these brothers. He's the one who gets a group of people together to go and end this rebellion. Well, the Edwards brothers hear about the soldiers coming, and they actually flee. So there's no fighting that ever goes on. But the Fredonian rebellion is a thing. And remember, Mexico is really concerned about what's going on in Texas. So this is just piquing that concern. So aftermath, all right? The Fredonian rebellion attracted a lot of attention. It's a huge story. It's in the newspapers in the U.S. It's making it all the way over to Europe. People in Mexico are continuously talking about it, all right? And at this point, we're talking the 1820s, all right? United States has tried to buy Texas multiple times from Mexico, but Mexico's not hearing the offers. It doesn't matter if it's 10, 15, 20 million. Mexico says, nope, we don't want it. But because of the Fredonian Rebellion, Mexico worries about this U.S. influence. They are worried about the number of U.S. immigrants that are actually living in Texas. They're losing faith in their control of the land. So they need to know what's going on. So here's what they do. They send a spy, this tiny-faced man right here. His name is Martin de Leon. Now, Martin de Leon was a Mexican general, all right? And his whole responsibility, go around Texas, figure out what is going on, and give us a report, okay? He wants to investigate the boundaries as well as where is Texas getting their resources, who are they purchasing things from, who are they selling things to, how does the economy roll in Texas, how does this work? He also wants to get a head count of Anglos or white Americans that live in the area, as well as their attitudes towards the Mexican government. Keep in mind, per the impresario contract, the people that moved to Texas had to practice Catholicism, they had to speak Spanish, and they had to remain loyal to the Mexican government. All right? So he's going around to figure out whether or not any of this is actually happening. So he goes around for an entire year. All right? for an entire year, Martin de Leon goes around Texas. And this is what he finds out. Please put a star by this. The Mieri Teheran report is very important in the road to revolution. All right? So, after his year, he sits down and he says, the Mexican influence in Texas decreases as you move north and east. So, in other words, as you get closer to Dallas and Texarkana, there is less and less Mexican influence. The U.S. settlers outnumber Mexican citizens 10 to 1. All right, so for every 10 Mexican citizens, there are 100 U.S. citizens. And that American influence was growing stronger every day. All right, so if the Anglos are outnumbering the Mexican citizens, what language do you think is being spoken in Texas? Yeah, more than likely, English. As well, you had individuals who said that they were practicing Catholicism, but then they would hold their own church services instead of going to the Catholic Church, or would hold them separate from the services at the Catholic Church. Remember, big no-nos in the impresario contract. They are not holding up their end of the bargain. All right? So here are his suggestions. These are Mieri Teheran's suggestions based on his report. All right? He suggests 3 things. Number 1, less trade between Texas and the United States. We want Texas to be buying and selling things with Mexico. Let's discourage this trade with the United States. Number 2, send more Mexican soldiers to maintain control in Texas. All right, in other words, let's put some more soldiers at the border. Let's see who is coming in and out, have a little more control on that one. And then number 3, let's increase immigration from Europe and Mexico instead of the United States. That's how we will lessen these ties with the U.S. government. So these are his suggestions based on his report. Let's see what Mexico does based on this report. All right? They passed something called the Law of April 6, 1830. All right? The whole reason this law passed was because of Mieri Teheran's report, and it does 5 key things. All right? Please put a star by this law. This law is very important. All right? Mexico essentially took Mieri Teheran's report and was like, let's ramp this up a little bit. All right? Number 1, no more immigration from the United States into Texas. Not less, no more. Number 2, any impresario contract that has not been fulfilled is canceled. Number 3, we're going to increase immigration from Europe. So we're going to ask Germans, we're going to ask Czechoslovakians, we're going to ask these Eastern and Western Europeaners to move to Texas instead of people from the United States. Number 4, enslaved people could no longer be brought into Mexico for work. So in other words, no more slaves can be brought in. No more slaves can be brought in. We have the ones that are there, and that's it. No more can be brought in. And then number 5, anything that is purchased and brought from the United States or is being sold to the United States has to pay very heavy taxes or custom duties. So if all of the items that you are buying and selling come from the U.S., we're just going to go ahead and take some of your profit. The Mexican government is going to heavily tax you. And as you guys know, people want more money. So are they going to be happy about these taxes? Well, remember, it's road to revolution. So go and put 2 and 2 together on how this is going to go over. So here's the impact on Texas, as well as this is your last one. All right, I know this was a big notes day. People are angry. And by people, I mean the Anglos, as well as Juan Seguin and Erasmo Seguin. These restrictions are going to hurt the Texas economy. They feel like they're going to be like making less money. Texans believe that immigration helped increase A, the population, and B, the trade. Most of the people that were moving into Texas came from the United States, so they wanted to buy and sell goods that came from the United States as well. That's what they were used to. In the same sense, if you need to go to the grocery store, more than likely you're going to Fiesta because it's the one that you're used to. Whereas where I grew up, I was used to going to H-E-B and United. United isn't a thing up here. All right. They upset family members because you now had families that were divided between the United States and Texas, and they can't get those family members in anymore. So Stephen F. Austin and Erasmo Seguin did not support the law. They felt like they were being treated like children. Remember, Stephen F. Austin is the one who ended the Fredonian Rebellion. He's the one who got a militia together to go fight the Edwards brothers. And because of their actions, he's getting hit with a law like this. I completely understand why he's upset. So this is the end of our notes for today. I appreciate you guys taking the time. I hope all is well.